One thing that could well now be raised in Parliament tomorrow is an India Today special story that was broken this evening. It's a big story which shows that Christian Michel, remember him, the Agusta deal middleman who's now in detention in Dubai, has made some explosive claims. His lawyer and sister told India Today that Michel is under pressure to name Sonia Gandhi in the case in return for being exonerated. Here is that India Today exclusive that is expected to rock Parliament tomorrow. Take a look.
Are you involved in any of these companies?
No, not one of them.
A scandal-tainted deal. Already a big political issue for more than 5 years now. The VVIP chopper row has just grown bigger and more explosive. In custody of Dubai authorities for his links with the alleged scam for over a month, middleman Christian Michel has airdropped a bombshell. His Italian lawyer, Rosemary Patrizzi, and his sisters in the UK have alleged that Christian Michel is being forced to make false confessions while in detention. He is being forced to confess that he knew Sonia Gandhi, the UPA chairperson, and had met her.
They want him to admit that he knows Sonia Gandhi, and he doesn't. They want him to admit that he's protecting these people, these very big politicians, and he's not. He's just trying to clear his own name.
Remember, India is trying to secure Michel's extradition from the UAE for the past 1 year, in connection with his role in the cancelled 3,600 crore rupee luxury helicopter contract. He is named in the ED's latest charge sheet sent to a Dubai court. In the UAE, the British national has been questioned by ED and CBI officials. But now, Michel's lawyer in Italy has made startling allegations against the investigators. Rosemary Patrizzi has told India Today over the phone that her client is being forced to confess to his links with Sonia Gandhi. Listen in to this conversation.
What can you tell us about Christian Michel's detention in UAE?
Well, I can say that he had 2 meetings on May with the Indian authorities. They tried to get from him a confession.
Okay.
They tried to convince him to tell things that he was not agree, because that he hasn't been part of this deal. He does nothing to do with bribery. They have been, all of them have been acquitted in Italy because of lack of evidence. Last year, Indian authorities asked the Emirates to arrest him. He has been arrested for 6 days, and the prosecutor gave to the Indian authorities 45 days plus 45 days for to have evidences. So they didn't bring in anything at all, and he was released. This time, this year, they went to Dubai to interview him. But what they wanted really was a signature. They wanted that he collaborated, telling things that was not true. So he said, "No, I'm not going to sign things that I'm not agree." So after that, the people went back to England, and he was arrested. I think he will keep it strong, and I hope he will not agree to sign anything that he doesn't believe in. and that's not true. So this is something that happened 2,000 years ago when people used to force by violence to have the answers that they wanted. So now this doesn't work anymore. So if a person said, I haven't done any bribery, I never met Miss Gandhi, that's what he is telling. So this is true. It's impossible that Indian authorities want to force him to say something that is not true. That's for them reasons, because they cannot find evidence.
You said that the authorities, the officials, want Mr. Michel to confess that he personally knew Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. They want him to tell that.
Okay.
But he couldn't sign this statement because he never, ever met Mrs. Gandhi. Ever. And also, there is no evidence about bribery. So no bribery, no Mrs. Gandhi doesn't exist this. I don't know why they keep it forcing to show a situation that doesn't exist. So no bribery, no Mrs. Gandhi, nothing. Nobody could prove it, nothing.
Suppose if Mr. Michel today signs a document and says that he personally knew Mrs. Gandhi, will he be released then?
I think yes. I think that's the yes. They said that. They said that if he would sign the statement, he would be free and everything would finish for him. Yes.
Okay. What next?
I'm afraid to tell something very strong like this. But
What next?
I must tell the truth. I must tell you what happened.
Yes.
I know that this is very serious, but they want to make a deal with him. They said, if you tell us that you met Mr. Gandhi, that you something to do with her, we will, and if you sign this paper, you will be free.
Okay.
That's what they want him to do, and he didn't.
Remember, when India Today tracked down Michel 2 years ago in the UAE, he categorically denied meeting Sonia Gandhi, then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, or Defence Minister A.K. Antony during the 10 years of the UPA rule.
Have you ever met Sonia Gandhi?
No, never.
A.K. Antony?
No.
Dr. Manmohan Singh?
No.
Any of other leaders?
No.
You heard how British arms dealer Christian Michel ruled out his association with the top brass of the then UPA government barely 2 years ago. But now, he's alleged to be under pressure to testify against Sonia Gandhi. The accusations were echoed by Michel's sister in the UK.
So I need to tell you that he's been in jail in Dubai for 40 days.
He's detained.
Yes, he's been detained in jail for 40 days.
Okay.
And they're not letting him out. They said to him he has to sign these documents, and he refuses to sign. They want him to admit that he knows Sonia Gandhi, and he doesn't. They want him to admit that he's protecting these people, these very big politicians, and he's not. He's just trying to clear his own name.
Okay.
And they want him to confess to all these things, and but it's not true, so he refuses to, and so they're holding him in prison.
Okay.
He never had a problem in UAE before.
Yes.
He just told me they can't let him out. They won't let him out unless he signs these documents. And he said it's the Indians that are doing this. He didn't mention UAE, but he's in prison in UAE.
Christian Michel is one of the prime accused in VVIP chopper deal case, and hence every word that comes from him or his family has to be taken with a pinch of salt. The onus is now on Indian government to bring out the truth. With video journalist Prashant Rai, this is Ankit Kumar in New Delhi for India Today.
Huge explosive claims then made by Christian Michel's sister and lawyer. Is there an attempt to drag Sonia Gandhi into the Augusta net by the Narendra Modi government? Is the Modi government trying to reap political dividends from the Augusta probe? Can Christian Michel claim someone who's accused in the case be taken at face value? Is Michel simply trying to cast a shadow of doubt over the entire Augusta probe to get out of it? Some of the questions I'll raise. First segment is on this. Next will be on the vote of confidence. Gaurav Bhatia, BJP spokesperson with me. Sushmita Dev, Congress MP with us. Ajay Shukla, defense expert who's been tracking the Augusta case. And Aryama Sundaram, senior advocate, joining us. Let's get first reactions from all of them. But I want to come to my two experts first before I come to the Netas, because Aryama Sundaram, what do you make out of this? How seriously, legally will these claims be taken of Christian Michel's sister and lawyer that he's been coerced to include Sonia Gandhi as the person who was bribed in the AgustaWestland case?
Well, it will be taken very seriously, Rajdeep. I'll tell you why. Now, it's very often that an accused, a person who has evidence piling up against him, will claim beforehand or after the fact that he was forced to give a confession. Because when a confession is given, then you try to retract a confession. This is a very usual thing which is done. So I don't set too much store on his protestations of innocence about himself, that the evidence will tell what it is, because that almost every accused does. And then tries to retract a confession if they've given it, in this case trying to preempt a confession which he may give. But it's a totally different matter when an accused says that he is being pressurized to implicate somebody else. When he says he's being they're trying to get him to implicate somebody else, then that doesn't fall in the normal line of the usual accused conduct of trying to retract a confession or preempt a confession. It is something far more serious. And look, take it in reality. There is no manner of doubt that something has happened in this Westland, that evidence today is somehow not sufficient, that CBI is desperate to get evidence. But what is turning it out to be the case, and what was the protestation, the political aspect of it was, from the beginning, there's been a claim that it goes much further, higher up. It goes to the ex-prime minister, it goes to the president of the Congress party, it goes there, and these were the claims being made. Fact of it is, there is zero evidence there. Zero is zero. There is zero evidence. Now, it becomes from this, it becomes clear that the target is the ex-prime minister and the Congress president. And there is one way or the other they want to get to them. Yes. And if that is the case, they are trying to use every manner in order to get evidence. So this is a case where, finding lack of any other evidence, it appears that the only evidence, because look, the proof of the pudding's in the eating. Tomorrow, if there is something against the Congress president, it's only going to come out of this confession. There is really nothing else pointing there.
So you're saying
any evidence will be only this confession. So therefore, it is clear from this that every effort is being made to implicate the Congress president, including trying to get a confession, and therefore there is a certain amount of credibility in what is being stated by Michel.
But the same Christian Michel, Ajay Shukla, in 2016 said that Sonia Gandhi was the driving force behind the deal. At that occasion in 2016, he specifically named Sonia Gandhi and said that he had told the British High Commission that if you want this deal, you've got to go through the Gandhi family. And the CBI charge sheet maintains that the family benefited. So I just want to understand, what is your sense of what Christian Michel has said today? Do you believe this will completely change the way this case has gone so far? Has the case made enough headway to actually ever reach the Gandhi family, or are they at all involved?
Rajdeep, let's just take a step back and just not look at what everybody is saying. He said, she said, he said, she said, and just look at this structurally. There are four kinds of people involved in this. Number one, arms dealers. Number two, politicians. Number three, lawyers. Number four, journalists. I wouldn't trust any of these four categories as far as I can throw an elephant. Look at the actual structure of what has happened. The first sort of details of this case came out on the 12th of February 2013. It's been 5 years since then. two of India's top intelligence agencies, the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate, have had all the resources of their governments to investigate this. They have not been able to sort of credibly file a charge sheet. The charge sheet that they have filed has not yet been investigated, has not been held up in a court of law. Nobody has been found guilty. All you're hearing is hot air. But the thing to note over here is that had there been any evidence against Sonia Gandhi, against the Congress party, against any middlemen connected with them, by now the ED and the CBI would surely have obtained some form of conviction from some court or the other. The fact that 5 years have gone by and nothing has been obtained by way of a conviction or any kind of credible sort of observation from a court by way of guilt of the Congress party or people as connected with them only goes to show that there isn't really any hard evidence that the investigative agencies have placed before the court. So all this stuff that I'm hearing from Christian Michel and from the political sort of divide, the Congress and the BJP on the one hand, I don't give an ounce of credibility to any of this. What I do find credible is that 5 years have gone past, no evidence. Clearly the investigative agencies have nothing on them.
You know, that is exactly it. Because we could broaden this from Sonia Gandhi to Robert Vadra, to all of those who in your 2014 campaign, you used AgustaWestland to say we will nail the Gandhi family, we will nail Sonia Gandhi, she's got the kickbacks. That was said repeatedly by the likes of Subramaniam Swamy. And yet the fact is that your government is today unable to achieve a single conviction in 5 years. The case has not moved ahead, and today we've got the sister and the lawyer of Christian Michel saying that that the authorities are forcing him to confess about Sonia Gandhi's name.
Let me answer you. First of all, let me talk about the action that has been taken and how effective the investigating agencies like the CBI and the ED have been. CBI was once called a cage parrot by the Honorable Supreme Court. Today they are doing its job, and as a citizen of this country, it is very heartening when I see that ED and CBI in the AgustaWestland case and today also in the Aircel Maxis case has filed charge sheet after a thorough investigation. Now, people are saying there is zero evidence. I think it is for the courts to decide whether the charge sheet would stand judicial scrutiny or not. And let me tell you that very same people were also saying in the case of National Herald case, there is zero evidence. But we all know Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi had to approach the court and they had to seek bail, and the trial is still on. Regarding the delay, you were saying 4-5 years have passed.
5 years have passed.
I'm coming to that. I noted your question, but let me enlighten you, Rajdeep, because I'm a lawyer as well. There is a criminal justice delivery system. There is a backlog of cases. For that, you cannot say that the government is solely responsible. There have been measures, but the court will take up the matter in accordance with, the procedure as well as the cases that are pending.
You are conclusively denying that anyone in government is putting pressure on the Dubai authorities where Christian Michel is detained to somehow or the other name Sonia Gandhi. You are denying that.
I am absolutely
outright denying.
I am absolutely denying that for a reason. First of all, in 2016, Mr. Michel himself had made a statement which you have referred to, and he said if you want to ink the deal or seal the deal, you will have to contact the Gandhis. Now, second, it has been out in public domain, and how serious this matter is, that the minutes and the transactions that took place in a cabinet meeting were leaked to middlemen. Look at the seriousness of the charge. During the Congress government, what was being discussed in relation to national security was being actually sent to middlemen. And second, tailor-making of defense tenders. Why would you tailor-make, like specifications were changed so that AgustaWestland could benefit, and Sonia Gandhi, like an extra constitutional authority, was influencing.
How do you know that she was? Just because it was an Italian company, you have decided that Sonia Gandhi was influencing it?
No.
Where is the hard evidence? As Ajay Shukla is asking, it can't be he said, she said. It cannot be by throwing mud. You have to nail Sonia Gandhi.
I will, and I'm telling you why.
When will you do it? 5 years have almost elapsed.
Right.
Same thing with Robert Vadra. I'm waiting for Robert Vadra to be nailed.
Whether it is Robert Vadra, Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi in the National Herald case, case or whether it is AgustaWestland or ASL Max's case, charge sheets are being filed and due process of law will take care.
Mr. Chidambaram has described today's charge sheet as preposterous.
No, one last point.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Bhajan Lal case, and Sundaram ji is here. It clearly says it's a constitution bench case and malafide or political vendetta is a ground to quash an FIR or charge sheet. Has any of the FIR or charge sheet so far been quashed? Against Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi also, they have moved the court. P. Chidambaram moved the court. They failed. That means there is substance in the charge sheet or the allegations that has been made.
Okay, let me get a Congress reaction. Sushmita Dev, respond to what you're hearing. The Congress party today seems to be suggesting that this is all part of a master, Shri Narendra Modi. You're calling him the MD, suggesting that he is deliberately using the CBI to target Sonia Gandhi. Having said that, the fact also is, as I repeat, in 2016 the same Christian Michel said Sonia Gandhi was a driving force behind the deal.
Rajdeep, I want to make it very clear. If you listen to the conversation which your channel ran first, earlier in the evening, it is very clear that this is a clear attempt to frame Mrs. Gandhi. We had said this in the parliament when this first hit the news, session was on, that there is an agenda the Modi government has against most of the opposition leaders. At that time, that argument didn't cut ice, but this agenda has come to the forefront today, and we are very clear about it that Mrs. Gandhi has nothing to do with the Agusta deal, and the letter that you keep quoting about is one man's perspective that she's a driving force. He is writing a letter which is emanating from him. Those are his views. That doesn't mean Mrs. Gandhi has taken a kickback, and with all due respect to Gaurav Bhatia, who happens to be a lawyer, how can he sit on a television channel and say we will file a charge sheet against so and so?
No, I never said we will file a charge sheet. All that I said was, you asked me, would you nail these persons like in the National Herald case? We will file a charge sheet if there is evidence.
Know what an independent agency is going to do? How does Gaurav Bhatia know?
Can I respond to that?
How the charge sheet is going to be framed, what's going to be happened, which have been done by independent agency. How are you sitting on a channel and saying
let him respond, because then I'm going to look at cases beyond this as well, because tomorrow in this no confidence motion, corruption, whether Nirav Modi or Vijay Mallya is likely to figure prominently. But respond to that.
Let me respond to Sushmita ji, my dear friend. First of all, we were discussing all the corruption allegations, and in that National Herald case is also included. So all that I said was, you asked me what about Sonia Gandhi's role. It is for the investigating agency to look into it.
So in 4 years you have found nothing. I come back, in 4 years you have found nothing about Sonia Gandhi's role in AgustaWestland, and yet every time we have a Subramaniam Swami coming out and saying Sonia Gandhi is involved.
Rajdeep, there is a due process of law. The very fact that Sonia Gandhi ji and Rahul Gandhi are out on bail itself shows there is material against them. Now in a trial it would be decided whether there is sufficient evidence for them to be convicted or acquitted. But my point is simple, that the government and the investigating agencies are doing the needful in actually filing thorough charge sheets and then ensuring that accused persons face trial. And you cannot deny that. Congress, it wasn't happening. Rather, they were complicit in crime and they were looting the country. Like it happened in Colgate, it happened in AgustaWestland and many other scams.
Let us step back. This tutu meme will go on. I'm sure it will play out in Parliament tomorrow. I want to in a moment. There is the larger issue of corruption. Whether it's Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya, Jai Shah, I expect tomorrow some of these issues to be raised, but what does it really mean in pure legal terms? That's what I want to understand. Is the AgustaWestland case another example of where politics in this country takes important cases of alleged corruption? Remember tomorrow's big no confidence motion being faced by the Narendra Modi government in Parliament. Now against that backdrop is this big story that has been breaking today on India Today, the AgustaWestland case and allegations made by the middleman accused in the case that he's being asked to name Sonia Gandhi and fix her in the case. Now remember, corruption is going to be one of the big issues in tomorrow's no confidence motion. BJP is likely to target Congress over UPA era deals And the four corruption issues that could dominate are the government's alleged failure to nab Nirav Modi, the Augusta suspect Christian Michel's claims now that there is a bid to drag Sonia Gandhi in the case, the Rafale fighter deal finalized by the Modi government, the charge sheet filed against former finance minister Mr. P. Chidambaram, where the Congress is crying a witch hunt. Now the BJP, as I said, could raise all kinds of issues involving corruption in the UPA years. So corruption likely to figure prominently in this entire no confidence motion. And I want to understand from my guest, starting with you, Aryama Sundaram, how does all this play out? Because Robert Vadra, for example, and I haven't named him there, could be an issue that Mr. Modi and the BJP will raise tomorrow. And you will have the Congress perhaps raising AgustaWestland an allegation that the case has been fixed. The average citizen is going to say, is this simply Noora Kushti? Where are the convictions? Why is nobody going to jail? That's what the citizen will say. What do I say to the citizen? What would you say as a lawyer to the citizen?
Well, all I would say, the fact of the matter is that the name corruption, the charge of corruption, has always been a very vital political tool in any election. And it's not something today. I know it happened in Tamil Nadu way back in the 1970s. There was always the opposition crying corruption, which was meant to be a vote gatherer. So corruption is always an issue, a political issue. Now the point is, at the same time, we also need to put an end to corruption, to punish the corrupt, to take action against it. Now, according to me, the whole problem is that the prosecution agencies, when prosecuting, if they could independently prosecute the corrupt for what has been done, could bring about a conviction. But politics obfuscates the issue. The investigative agencies, to please political masters perhaps at the time, start spreading their net too wide. By spreading the net too wide, instead of focusing of where they can catch the people who have been caught about being corrupt, they end up letting them go. Look at the 2G matter. They couldn't get the evidence of just the causal link with Raja and let him go. Why? Because they were spreading the net too wide, because they wanted to catch industrialists, others, everybody else, and they obfuscated the issue. So according to me, corruption becomes a vital part of a political agenda. At the same time, the investigative agency should bring to book the corrupt. Unfortunately, because it becomes a political agenda, the agencies try to bring in people which will be politically advantageous for a given party, and the moment that is done, the entire charges fail because the evidence is not there.
Ajay Shukla, your sense, particularly with defense deals, Rafale will probably be raised tomorrow. Do you believe that in any of these cases we will actually get down to the bottom of who got the monies? Now we are told in the charge sheet, for example, the Tyagis have been named here, but now when the politician comes in, we get a completely different spin to the story, and it's gone on for several such defense deals in the past. Will we ever know really who benefited?
Rajdeep, I think everybody on this program has used the phrase quite correctly, that corruption will be a big issue and a debating point in tomorrow's parliamentary debate. That's what corruption is seen as in this country. It's a debating point. Corruption is not something that is out there, a cancer to society that needs to be cleaned up, that needs to be addressed, that you need to send investigative agencies after. No, that's not what corruption is. Corruption is this nice little convenient brush that every political party can pick up and paint the opposition black with. So, for example, these defense deals that you're talking about,
right?
I and everybody else who operates in the defense space, whether in the industry, whether as journalists, we all have pretty good ideas of who the players are, who the corrupt people are, who the agents are. And if you leave it to me, for example, I can tell you, if I was given investigative powers, if I was given the powers to put wiretaps, to follow people, to do physical surveillance, I would have at least 10 corruption cases prosecuted and in the bag by this year end. But nobody is interested in doing that, because they're not interested in nailing corruption. They're interested in having corruption as this convenient brush that you can use to tar the opposition with.
Let me therefore ask both of you, because you must answer this first, because you came to power saying you will nail the corrupt. And the question is going to be asked to you again, is it only a talking point?
Right.
Robert Vadra, you said you will nail him.
Right.
And you will put him behind bars.
Right.
Numerous statements. Where is he?
Now allow me, please.
Sonia Gandhi, you said AgustaWestland, you'll nail her.
Allow me. First of all, you know, law would always catch up and a criminal will be punished. I'll give you two examples. Lalu Prasad Yadav also, it took a few decades, but he was ultimately convicted and he is behind bars. Om Prakash Chautala, again, yes, it took time, but he was convicted and he is facing the sentence. The measures that we have taken, the vision that Mr. Modi has, let me tell you, a SIT was to be constituted.
Chautala is the previous government. Don't take credit for Chautala. Don't take credit for Chautala.
Rajdeep, I think you know this habit of yours.
Lalu Prasad also has
the habit of yours to interrupt me in between when I'm making a larger point. I never said this government only. I never used that phraseology. My point is very simple. In our system, it might take some time, but filing of charge sheet itself shows the process is on. And in a trial, these people will be punished. That is our belief. We will believe our investigating agencies, which have turned from a cage parrot to an aggressive hawk that bites.
Cage parrot has become an aggressive hawk.
Yes. And
who does it bite? Does it only bite
all corrupt people?
It will bite all corrupt people. Okay.
Now can I just complete my
your
point?
Your cage parrot has allowed people to fly away.
Yeah, and Nirav Modi,
Vijay Mallya flown away.
In case of Nirav
people
Modi,
are flying away.
In case of Nirav Modi also, you should be asking the Congress, which allowed thousands of crores of loan to him, and they were manipulating the process. It is our government.
So you are ready to face Nirav Modi tomorrow. You are ready to face
question. We will ensure Nirav Modi also comes back and he faces trial, and the extradition process is on. It's not the Congress that took action.
Are you ready tomorrow?
It's the BJP that is taking action.
Tomorrow the BJP is going to say they are the ones who've taken the action in these cases, not the Congress. Are you ready to take up issues like Nirav Modi, Jai Shah, which you have otherwise been shouting in TV studios? They've been shouting in TV studios.
So what? He filed a defamation case and they have not been able to respond. Like a person who believes, no, since you named Jai Shah, let me come in. He is a person who believes in law. He filed a defamation case, civil and criminal.
Are you going to just
do you think that Rahul Gandhi can do the same? Robert Vadra has done the same. So if you have truth on your side, you will approach the court and you will guard your reputation like Jai Shah has done.
Okay, Sushmita Dev.
Everything that's loud is not correct. Please stop.
Sushmita Dev, are you all set tomorrow to take on these issues?
Silence is also not right.
Tomorrow there are going to be a lot of... Yes, we are all set. We are all set, and let me tell you something. Apart from bringing up the corruption of the BJP and all of what the state governments have been doing from Vyapam to GSPC, I can tell you this, that issues of pharma, women's security and all the issues that Narendra Modi ji
for the time being tried to help Sonia Gandhi ji and also P. Chidambaram, he needs your advice, believe me.
And
a charge sheet has been filed. So they are accused persons as of now.
Mr. Bhatia, don't get jittery.
That tomorrow please do meet me. We'll see whether your no confidence motion succeeds or not. Your own partners are deserting you when the speaker asked Mulayam Singh Yadav ji and Devagowda ji also did not support this no confidence motion.
This government
you have become a junior partner to other smaller regional parties.
I have to it. We'll wait till tomorrow. Let's leave something for tomorrow.
Narendra Modi for his lies.
Okay, we'll wait and see who's caught for it.
Government of crooks.
You please at least protect the 3 states where you still thrive and survive.
Okay,
those states would also be lost soon. We are still serving people in
the fact that you are in the studio and she's outside. Time out. I've given you more time.
About Narendra Modi ji, I'll definitely rebut.
Okay, we'll wait to see who rebuts what tomorrow.
The biggest goon and the whole country knows.
Okay, let's leave it there. My take. And my take is not just about corruption. I thank my panelists, but my take is about that no confidence motion tomorrow. A no confidence motion is being fought in a pre-election atmosphere of friction and uncertainty. The opposition doesn't have the numbers, but may well have the issues to make their voice heard in the din. The government may have the numbers, but still needs Mr. Modi for a booster dose. There are also the fence-sitters who want to keep all options ahead of the 2019 elections. In fact, this is probably the last stand for all the competing parties before the elections. The 16th Lok Sabha has seen very little genuine debate. The BJP's numerical majority silencing the opposition. This is probably then a final opportunity for Rahul Gandhi to make a mark inside Parliament, where his performance has been disappointing. The India Today expose on AgustaWestland could be just one of the issues the Congress may raise to try and corner the government. Nirav Modi, Jai Shah, Rafale are words that may well echo through the day. But will the real issues be lost in the cacophony? Hopefully our parliamentarians will rise to the occasion instead of spending another day of grandstanding. We don't have the great parliamentarians of the past like Vajpayee, George Fernandez, Pilu Modi, Feroz Gandhi, Nath Pai, Meenu Masani and many others who are well suited to the cut and thrust of debate. In New India, I'm afraid tomorrow you must be content with Modi versus the rest.